Daniel's mornings always began the same way, too fast. His alarm rang at 6 a.m., followed by emails before breakfast, coffee gulped between ironing a shirt and checking traffic updates, and a frantic sprint through crowded sidewalks toward the marketing firm where he worked. Every day felt like a race he was permanently losing. But there was one small thing he loved: a dark blue coffee mug with tiny painted cranes circling the rim. His younger sister had given it to him years ago before moving overseas. "So you'll slow down long enough to drink something warm," she had joked. It became part of his routine. Every morning, he filled it with coffee before leaving home. It sat beside him during meetings and late-night deadlines. Whenever life felt chaotic, the mug somehow made things feel steady. Then one Monday morning, disaster struck. Daniel was rushing around his apartment while rehearsing a presentation in his head. He grabbed his laptop bag, checked his phone, and accidentally knocked the mug off the kitchen counter. Crash! The sound froze him. Coffee spread across the floor in dark waves. A sharp crack ran from the handle to the base of the mug. "No, no, no," Daniel muttered, lifting it carefully. It wasn't shattered completely, but it would never look the same. His chest tightened with irritation far larger than the situation deserved. Perfect. Just perfect. Another thing ruined. Already late, he shoved the mug into the sink and stormed out the door. The entire day unraveled after that. His presentation stumbled. A client criticized his work. His manager reminded him about deadlines. By evening, Daniel felt exhausted and strangely hollow. On the walk home, rain began to fall. Seeking shelter, he ducked into a tiny café tucked between two buildings he had never noticed before. The café was quiet except for soft jazz and the hiss of steaming milk. Behind the counter stood an elderly man with silver hair tied neatly behind his head. "You look like someone carrying heavy weather," the man said gently. Daniel forced a tired smile. "Something like that." He ordered coffee and sat near the window. Minutes later, the old man arrived carrying the drink in a cracked ceramic mug. Daniel stared at it. The fracture along the side had been repaired with thin golden lines. "You still use it?" Daniel asked before thinking. The old man smiled. "Of course, but it's broken." "Once," the man corrected. "Now it is repaired." Daniel turned the mug slowly in his hands. The crack shimmered beneath the cafe lights like lightning trapped in gold. "There's a Japanese practice," the man explained, wiping the counter slowly, "where broken pottery is repaired with gold instead of hidden. The damage becomes part of the story, not something to be ashamed of." Daniel looked down at his coffee. "I broke my favorite mug this morning," he admitted quietly. "I know it sounds stupid, but it ruined my entire day." Perhaps the mug was not the problem. Daniel frowned. The old man leaned against the counter. Most people spend their lives trying to appear uncracked. Perfect employee, perfect parent, perfect friend. But life breaks everyone eventually. Outside, rain tapped softly against the windows. Zen teachers say that a crack is where light enters. We suffer because we resist imperfection. But peace comes when we stop hiding from it. Daniel sat silently for a long moment. Something about those words settled into him. Over the following weeks, he returned to the cafe often. Sometimes they spoke. Sometimes they simply shared silence. At home, Daniel took the broken mug from the sink. Instead of throwing it away, he repaired it carefully with resin-tinted gold. The line remained visible, and strangely, beautiful. Slowly, other things began to change too. When he made mistakes at work, he stopped treating them like disasters. When conversations became awkward, he no longer replayed them endlessly at night. He admitted when he didn't know something. He asked for help without embarrassment. For the first time in years, he stopped trying so hard to look flawless. One afternoon during a team meeting, a younger coworker nervously apologized for an error in a report. Normally, Daniel would have criticized it sharply. Instead, he smiled gently and said, "It's okay. We'll fix it." The coworker looked relieved, and Daniel realized something. People relaxed around honesty far more than perfection. Months later, Daniel's sister visited from overseas. While unpacking, she noticed the blue mug sitting on the kitchen shelf. "Oh no," she said, picking it up carefully. "You broke it?" Daniel smiled. "Yeah," he said, and it turned out better afterward. Morning sunlight touched the thin golden crack running across the ceramic. For the first time in a long while, Daniel wasn't rushing anywhere.